As a British woman who got married right here in the USA, I thought it'd be fun to take a look at some of the differences between American weddings and British weddings.
And to help us out with this, we thought we would do a reaction video to Lost in the Pond, aka Laurence Brown, who is brilliant. He's a Brit who married an American and is living over here in the USA. One of our lovely viewers, Mark, actually is a huge fan of his too. He wanted us to do a reaction video to one of Laurence's videos, so this is it.
Americans love hats. To this day, people in Texas still cite Yosemite Sam as their style icon, and the baseball cap continues to grace the heads of baseball players, normal Americans, and Vanilla Ice. But there's one occasion when Americans leave the hats at home: weddings. Coming from Britain, I thought this was notable. Back home, there's a significant amount of crossover between how women dress for weddings and how they dress for ascot, except instead of betting on horses, they're betting on how long the marriage will last.
I must say, Lucy, when you got married over here, one of my biggest disappointments was that I couldn't wear a big hat as mother of the bride. I mean, in the UK, it is the thing. The mother of the bride's got the biggest hat, hasn't she?
That was almost my vision for you, that you would have a hat so large that you wouldn't be able to get through doors.
Indeed. So here's a picture of me without a hat wearing a long dress at Lucy's wedding. More recently, at my other daughter's wedding in the UK, here I am, adorning that huge big hat, wearing a matching handbag and shoes,
very chic.
Got it all going on.
Got it all going on.
Yeah, so I did get to wear my hat.
I do wonder if the reason for this difference is, like Laurence was saying, Americans wear hats all the time.
Yes.
So I wonder if for weddings, they very often drop them because it's a special occasion, so they're doing something a bit different. In the UK, we don't tend to wear hats so much unless it's like a rain hood. So, you know, it's different and special for us to wear the hat. I wonder if it's something to do with that and hat culture in general, like a larger thing than just hat culture at weddings.
Yeah, maybe. I think you've got a good point there.
Thanks.
Yeah.
On either side of the pond, it's traditional for brides and or grooms to indulge in debaucherous shenanigans in an effort to drunkenly conclude bachelor life. For the lads, it's all about the destination weekend. In Britain, stag nights have become stag weekends. The groom and his mates head off to Amsterdam, but definitely not because of the inhalable plant life and legalised brothels. In the US, such gatherings are called bachelor parties. The groom and his buddies head off to Nevada, but definitely not because see previous comment.
A lot of British lads head off to Amsterdam for a fun stag. Indeed. Recently, a few months ago, the Dutch capital started an ad campaign to try and discourage lads who were looking for a messy night in Amsterdam. If the lads are on the computer, it would be sort of triggered by certain terms to encourage nuisance tourists to stay away.
Right.
Don't visit our fine city
with
your rowdy stag do's.
Yeah.
Stay away. The Mirror newspaper later reported that the amount of stag do bookings had actually increased threefold since the ad had come into being.
So not very successful.
No, it's like when the BBC used to ban like a certain pop record.
Yeah, everyone starts playing it.
They'd always get to number one.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe it was a secret ploy by the Amsterdam Tourist Board.
On either side of the pond, if your wedding has bridesmaids, there will probably be between 400 and 600 of them. First of all, in America, bridesmaids are almost always expected to pay for their own dresses, making bridal parties the 5th largest pyramid scheme in America. In Britain, the cost of dresses will often be covered by whoever is paying for the wedding.
Correct. I paid for my bridesmaids' dresses, and my husband, who's American, was quite surprised about that that was something that I wanted to do. But it didn't really occur to me that it should be any other way. Especially because most of them, actually all of them were flying in from somewhere. Yeah. Most of them were flying in from the UK. But over here, you know, every time my husband's involved in a wedding, which seems to happen quite a lot, he has to hire his own suit. I couldn't even imagine, like, would you be my bridesmaid? Now go and buy this expensive dress. I just couldn't even imagine asking for it, you know, but out here that's quite normal.
You think, oh, I'm so honoured, but hang on a minute, I'm so
broke. And here's your bill.
Yes, I think, you know, the bride chooses this designer.
Well, that's often, you know,
don't just source it from one of the online cheapo places.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of cheaper places.
One of the online sort of cheaper What about if the bride chooses one of these designer styles?
Yeah, well, I think that's probably been the breakup of a lot of good friendships, you know, why some people don't talk anymore because not everyone can afford it.
No, and then if you can't afford it and say, no, I'm sorry, I can't afford it, then you're not a bridesmaid anymore, so end off. Or you sort of bite the bullet and sort of go into debt to buy this bridesmaid's dress and then feel resentful.
It's not good, is
No.
it? And you also hear stories about, in America, women asking their bridesmaids to change things like their hair colour to fit in.
Oh,
or
well, that's a bit OTT.
yeah, get a haircut or, you know, that kind of thing as well.
So they all
for the
look
wedding
like clones.
pictures.
They look like clones, you
Oh,
know, like so they all
yeah.
have to look identical.
Yeah.
So do they say also, oh, you've got to lose some weight and you've got to put higher heels on so you're the right height to
Maybe.
everybody else? I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
That's just crazy.
The bride would be the last person to enter the room. At least in America, where she is normally preceded by the bridal party. Think of it as the main event after the supporting act. In Britain, this is traditionally flipped. Not only do bridesmaids get a free dress, they also get to enter last.
Yeah, this was my biggest disappointment when I moved to America to get married and realised that I would not be leading the wedding party or the bridesmaids down the aisle.
I know, I was shocked to learn that because in the UK, the bride and her entourage, the bridesmaids and the bride's father or somebody who's giving her away.
Yeah.
The finale, well, the finale part of the entrance is the bride and her father and her attendants.
Yes, whereas, as he mentioned, in the US, the bride and her father go last. I console myself with the thought that maybe it's like a build-up.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
they're the opening act, you're the main event.
She's the bride and she was like, even my bridesmaids have gone ahead and I'm just left here with my dad.
Well, yeah, and plus my husband had about 14,000 groomsmen, so by the time everyone got down, I thought everyone would be like falling asleep by the time it got to me.
I've never seen that before. That amazed me. He did. He had so many groomsmen, which way outnumbered your bridesmaids and bride man.
Yeah.
And tell everyone how they had to pair off and go down the aisle.
Oh yeah, so they also do this thing where like a member of the bridal party will walk and then a member of the groom's party will walk and they'll meet in the middle and link arms and go down together. It's so cringy.
And then the next one, and then the next one. And I was really shocked. What's going on here?
Yeah, I know. It's very unusual and it takes a long time because you're also told to walk very slowly and you have to wait till the other person gets to the front for the next people to go.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time. I get that, you know, it's a special occasion. You got to make it kind of a big thing. But
And it's really weird. It's like the bridesmaids were being paired off with the groomsmen.
yeah. You know, I mean, at first I was horrified, but I've come
When
around
in
to
Rome,
it. Yeah.
when in America.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, I couldn't just come along and start demanding that everything's done like it is in the UK.
Why ever not?
It's my wedding. I don't want to be a bridezilla.
Bridezilla.
Here's a scenario. A friend of a friend is getting married. You wait nervously to see whether or not you're invited. Months go by. Nothing. Finally, you hear from your friend your worst fears have come true. You made it onto the guest list. But in Britain, there is a compromise. It's possible that you might be invited to the wedding ceremony and meal, but not the after party. Admittedly, the best bit.
Well, I think Laurence has got that slightly wrong. In the UK, you invite family and close friends to the ceremony and the wedding breakfast, you know, the reception. And then they can stay as long as they like. They can stay into the evening. And then in the evening, you might invite other friends, like co-workers or more distant relations, to the evening do, and you'd have like a finger buffet and stuff like that. They'd either get the whole thing or they get the evening.
But I don't think this is something that happens in America. You're either in or you're out.
Oh, right. So there's no like a second tier that you might just get the evening invite.
I don't think so. Not that I've ever heard of.
Interesting. Do you think it's because a lot of the people come from really long distances?
Possibly.
Because people move around a lot, you know?
Yeah, it
and
could
the
be.
distances are huge.
Yeah, it's a long way to come just for a party, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. Yeah, you'd want to do the whole shebang,
You
wouldn't
would.
you, really? Yeah.
But yeah, let us know. Are you getting married in Britain or America or somewhere else? Tell us what the culture's like there. Tell us what's traditional. We'd love to hear your stories and your feedback.
If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and share with a friend maybe, and subscribe to us on YouTube.